Dave Baker here, the Investment Biker, back for another edition of the Investment Biker podcast. My guest.
Is that how you start every episode?
This is my first one, okay?
Okay.
Let me go
yes.
with it. I don't really have an intro. I don't have an outro. I figured we would just throw some people in a room, have a conversation, and see what happens.
Sounds good.
Did you bring the barbecue sauce?
Of course.
Good.
Mesquite.
Sweet baby Ray's. Well, thank you, Mr. Stroh, for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm not sure exactly what we're going to talk about, but we're going to see where it goes. And hopefully the world out there can have a little bit deeper view of who this Dave Stroh guy really is. And that's really the purpose of this, is put personalities to faces. In this current COVID world, there's not a whole lot we can go out and do. So I figured, hey, let's spotlight a few businesses, people that I know, let other people get to know them as well, and have fun with it. Why not?
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I like it.
You down?
I'm down. I'm here, aren't I?
You are here. I've got you locked in this room, so you can't leave until I say. So let's start out with a few basic questions. Dave Stroh, you are a realtor.
I am.
With Remax Plus.
Yes.
Now explain the plus. What does that mean?
So Remax basically is a franchise like anything else, like Subway. The difference is, though, we have to have separate names for each one of our offices so that the clients or customers or whatever can discern the difference between Remax A and Remax B.
Okay.
Remax Plus is just the name that my broker picked when he started our franchise.
All right. So by default, you are Dave Stroh, Remax Plus.
Indeed.
All right. Now, can you put that all together in a nice sounding pitch? Give me your elevator pitch.
My elevator pitch.
Yeah.
So, David Stroh, Remax Plus. I make real estate easier for you.
All right. He makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, I know you're involved in some community actions. We serve on the Frederick Terps board together.
That's how we met.
What brought you to that? You know, did you just want to get involved with the Alumni Foundation?
Yeah, so
Did you get wrangled in?
No, I didn't get wrangled. I wrangled myself into it. I think there was really two reasons that I got involved. First off, obviously being an alumni of University of Maryland, I wanted to give something back to that school. I had some of my favorite years of life there. And
a few Jello shots.
I don't remember those. But I had great times there. That school gave me a lot, and I wanted to give something back to it. And I thought that was a cool way to get involved. And the other part of it is, selfishly from a business perspective, a big part of my business is education. And I feel like as much as I love the University of Maryland and, as much as the education system in Maryland is great, it doesn't always teach you a lot of life things.
Right.
How to invest money, how to buy a house. These are things we don't learn in our regular education. And I think that's really lacking for a lot of people. And being that I'm on the younger side for realtors in Maryland, the average age is like 57, I think. I tend to attract.
And you're like, what, 7, 8?
9 and a half. Right. I will be 30 this year.
Big milestone. All downhill from there, brother.
That's what I've heard. So I tend to attract younger clients, people buying their first home, people selling their first home that really have never been through the process before. The only thing they've ever heard about how real estate works is either from their parents, who, bought a house 20 years ago before the internet existed, or from watching HGTV, which is a completely fabricated interpretation of how real estate works.
I'm a school teacher and I have a $2.8 million budget for this house on the hill.
Because my husband breeds salamanders.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel like there are so many holes in people's educations about real estate, buying a house, selling a house, renting, and all that stuff. And real estate investing is something that's really a big part of my business as well. So I thought this was a cool way to kind of merge those two things to be able to reach a bigger audience of people that I can help educate about real estate.
So what, Dave, what would you say is your most ideal client? What kind of people do you kind of enjoy working with or get your?
So I'm kind of at the point of my business career now where I can be a little, I don't want to say picky, but
Well, more selective.
more selective
Yeah.
is a good way to put it. I don't have to feel like I have to work with absolutely every client. I like to help as many people as I can, obviously, but um, there are some personality fits that don't work for everybody, and I
Right.
totally get that. I'm not right for everybody, and not everybody is right for me. Um, my ideal client is somebody who's upfront with what they want, and is open to suggestions and open to realizing what they told me they want is not actually what they want. You know, if you say, I want a ton of land, I want 20 acres in my house, but then you also tell me that, you know, you don't want to have to do any outdoor maintenance at all ever, and you don't want to pay anybody to do outdoor maintenance, is 20 acres really what you want? You know, there's something else there. Um, so somebody who's kind of just open to the process evolving over time, that's more of a buyer ideal. For a selling client, somebody who's, you know, house I'm listing to sell for them, again, openness to suggestions for staging, for different marketing ideas. I kind of tend to use some outside of the box marketing stuff.
Tell me more about that. What's kind of your marketing style or?
Yeah, so it's a little more, I guess, pop culture is a good way to put
Okay.
it. For instance, I have some business cards right now. One of them looks like a Cards Against Humanity card, and one's a Pokemon card.
Okay.
So stuff like that. I mean, you know, right now the Bernie Sanders sitting at the inauguration meme is all over the place, and I'm running a Facebook ad right now that says something along the lines of, you know, you're thinking about buying or selling a house, don't just sit there. And it's a picture of a beautiful house with Bernie Sanders sitting on the front porch. Nice. You know, I've done all sorts of stuff. When Pokemon Go was really at its heyday, a listing that I was selling had a Poke Gym across the street that could reach from their couch. I was
not
told.
sure what that means.
I'm not 100% sure either, to be completely honest with you.
Weren't you at a Dungeons and Dragons event last night?
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about now. That's a different podcast.
I feel like it's entirely the same category.
It's not. So the client's kid told me that, you know, hey, there's a Poke Gym across the street, and I ran an ad on Facebook that, like, hey, do you want to catch Pokemon from the comfort of your own home? And I got a ton of interactions.
That's funny.
Like hundreds of views and people commenting on it, like, oh, we need to buy this house so we can catch eggs or something. I don't know. So just stuff like that. I'm not afraid to try new stuff within reason.
So other than, you know, Dave Stroh, the realtor, what do you do for fun? I know you're like a craft beer.
Yeah, craft beer, especially in the Frederick area, is big for a lot of people. So I'm a big
top place that you go. Top few.
I'm probably at Rockwell the most.
Okay.
Before the whole COVID thing hit, you know, I did a monthly happy hour there for people to just come ask questions about real estate, kind of back to that education thing. So I was there, you know, twice a month for work stuff. I go everywhere. I like to mix it up. I prefer sour beers and like hazy IPAs. So, you know, I kind of look around and find what places have that on tap that particular day. Old Mother is one that I end up at a lot.
Well, what's a wonderful thing about Frederick is, you know, the craft brew scene, the distilleries. There's so much of that.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing with all the shutdown and everything that I miss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially with the, you know, the Frederick Terps events and the happy hours that we do.
Right. Game watches and stuff.
You know, virtual happy hour just ain't the same.
It's not. Yeah.
But I'm hoping that we can get back out there as soon as possible and start enjoying some of these spots that we got out in Frederick.
For sure. Another thing, recently I picked up golf. over the
Wow.
last year. I know a lot of people have done that during the whole COVID thing. I played when I was little,
Yeah.
like, you know, 7, 8, 9, and 10, stopped playing and then have picked it up again. So that's been a lot of fun, you know, to actually get outside and do activity. You know, it's like, it's not lacrosse like I'm used to, but you know, it's still fun.
Very cool. Well, I want to thank you, Dave, for coming on the podcast here, if that's what I can even call it. But you know, these are the kind of things that, you know, you talk about creative marketing and things like that, and I enjoy these kind of platforms and just playing around with it. So thank you for, you know, helping me test this out and kind of work it.
Absolutely.
And we'll see how it goes out there, and hopefully you can use it for some of your creative marketing and put it out there.
And you know, a year down the line, when you have thousands of subscribers, we'll do a longer form.
Well, I think we're about 13 at this point.
13,
so we're pretty
13,000. That's pretty good.
13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, Baker's dozen.
Okay. That's a lucky number for some
My
people.
mind just goes to donuts.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning.
Yeah, man.
We'll catch up again sometime.
Sounds
soon.
good. Thanks for having me, bud.
Dave Baker, the investment biker. Out.